first thing I want you to notice is we have these pattern rules right here. Oops, I wrote on that one. Okay, so the first one is triple x. To figure out y, we are supposed to triple x. So what does triple mean? Multiply by 3. So I'm not going to do any numbering right now. I'm just going to write what I'm supposed to do. So up here, I have to do times 3. So whatever I do, whatever x I have, I'm going to put a dot. When you have a dot, that also means multiply. So it's x times 3, or it's 3x. Those are different ways to show multiplication, by the way. So, because if we do this, that looks kind of weird, because the multiplication symbol also looks like an x. 3xx looks weird. So, a dot also means multiply. A number right next to a letter also means multiply. This is something you'll run into in middle school. I'm just giving you a leg up. So that's why I put a dot. So x times 3, or 3x, whatever I have here, I'm going to multiply it by 3. Please stop playing with the ruler. That's not why you have it. Put it down. You don't even need it. Not right now. Triple x, and then add 3. So what am I going to have to do to figure out my y's? Stop solving it, Rory. So what am I going to do right here to figure out what my y coordinates are? Bailey, what do I have to do?
Multiply by 3.
So it's 3 times x, and then when I get this, I have to add 3 to it. So it's kind of almost like a little multi-step thing. I really have to pay attention to it. Let's take x, multiply it by 3. When I get that, add 3. So I hope you're not solving anything, because if you're solving, you're not listening. We're figuring out what we have to do first. Triple x, I wrote on mine.
And then
Subtract 2. Triple x and then subtract 2. So we already know what triple is. Triple is multiply by 3. So it's 3 times x. And then when I get that, I have to subtract 2. So if I have, anytime I have a letter, this is like a little algebra thing. Whenever I have a letter, I just plug in the number. This is why I was really good in algebra. If they told me to do something, I was like, oh, okay, there should not be a pencil on the paper. I've not told you to do anything. There shouldn't have been any lines plotted. There should not have been any Y's written. So if you have a letter, so this is algebra right here, just so you know. Because you have an unknown right here. That's what x is. It's an unknown. So when you plug in, if x is 0, now you can figure it out y. So if x is 0, 0 times 3. 0. Thank you for not saying 3. If x is 1, 1 times 3. If x is 2, 2 times 3. 6. This is why I was really good in algebra and Mr. Strickland was really bad in algebra. Because if you told me to just, what I do, plug and chug, plug a number in, chug an answer out. You want me to put a number in place of x? Okay. Blah, 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 blah. Because I was really good with procedures and stuff. Can y'all tell? Because I tend to write out every single step. Well, Mr. Strickland was like, why do I do that? I don't care. You tell me to put a number in there, all right, I'll do it. That's why a lot of times I'm not real good with some of the engage stuff. And some of your parents might not like the engage because we weren't taught the why. We were just taught, just do it. So, put the number where the x is. 4 is x. 4 times 3.
12.
12. So now you have your coordinates. 0, 0. 1, 3. 2, 6. 4, 2. Oh, sorry. That's a 12 record comma when I did it. Sorry. 4, 12. Thank you. So here we've got the triple again, but when we get it, we have to add 3 to it. So we've got this, but we just add 3. So it's the 0 plus 3.
3.
It's the 3 plus 3.
6.
It's the 6 plus 3.
9.
But can we do the same number again? They put a 3 there. Do you have a 3 there? So you can't assume. I actually had to pay attention for that. 3 times 3 plus 3.
12.
They switched the number to see if you were paying attention. This one has 1, 2, 3, 4, and not a 0. So you have to really pay attention. You can't assume that the numbers are the same. We just got lucky on that one. It was 1, 2, 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4. So you still have to pay attention. You can't assume that the points are the same. 3 times x minus 2. So 3 times 1
3.
minus 2.
1.
3 times 2 minus 2.
4.
3 times 3
9.
minus 2.
7.
3 times 4
12.
minus 2.
10.
So it's the same as yesterday, but different. So how is it the same?
You're trying to find out why. With different goals.
Okay, so you're trying to find out y, not WHY, but the coordinate y, but it's with different pattern rules. But how is it different from what we did yesterday?
Yesterday we were just adding and subtracting. It was just one step, but now it's multi-step.
Right, now it's multi-step. We're having to multiply and add. We're having to multiply and subtract. So you're having to do more than one step to figure out that y coordinate. So you're really having to pay attention to what you're doing. I know, yes, pay attention. Oh no. So 0, 3, 1, 6, 2, 9, 3, 12. If you pay attention to what you're doing, you should do fine. But that whole paying attention thing. Okay, so I want you to go ahead, plot those points, and see what your lines look like. Okay, Nardo, I want you to plot the first point of line L. All right. Selena, come plot the second point of line L. Okay. And Sheldon, third point. Mm-hmm. All right, and Serena, the fourth point of line L. So line L looks something like that. A little bit straighter. Okay. The first point of line M, Faith. Danny markers and then. Okay, Alora, second point. Third point, Jocelyn. Fourth point, Jonathan. So line M should be parallel. Line N, Daniel Stanley. First point. You slept through the whole thing and you're not working on it right now.
Then you're working on third.
Oh, I'm aware. So, which one are you doing? Right here? Which one did you mark? This right here? That is 3-0.
No, the one.
I'm talking to Daniel Stanley. What are you marking? Okay, so come fix it right on purpose. We're doing line in. There is no 3-0 in. There, that's right on purpose. Okay, the second point, Antonio. Third point, Caitlin. Fourth point, Bailey. So the most difficult part about this lesson really is figuring out what point y is. The plotting should be the easiest part because you should by now be able to do x, y. But figuring out what y is the hardest part because remembering what triple means, what double means, what two more means. So you really have to pay attention to that. Yes.
For the tests, it wouldn't be possible to have like word
I will have to look at it. I think really what we will have is plotting and I would have to look at it and really probably just maybe taking data and putting it on a plot, like the amount of rainfall in a month and how many inches. You know, you're really not going to have a whole lot of curveballs on here. So we'll look at lesson 18 that we're doing tomorrow. Let's see what's on there. Any questions about this?
How is it like which is X and Y? What are the letters? Like, I said X and Y. You mentioned something about the easiest X and Y.
We'll do that back there because we've been doing it since then. So, finding y. Any questions about how to find y? Aiden? What? Then so for this, one of the things that I did is, and I probably wouldn't have thought about it until I saw Sheldon do it. Sheldon is now becoming one of my favorite people because he's doing things that make me happy. So, and I'm calling you out, Sheldon, because you're doing things that make me happy. Is he went and he numbered all of his points, which made it a whole lot easier to plot them later. And we kind of go, oh, look, there's going to be fractions in here. Well, here, for line L, you have to have x. So you have to take all of your coordinates for x and half them, which means you need to take them and do what with them? Say it again. Girl, you got it right, so you got to say it loud and proud because I was happy. So it was like pulling teeth, but you said it. So say it again. Divide them by 2. If I take an apple or a piece of bread or a sandwich or anything and I'm having it, not having, H-A-V-E, having, H-A-L-V-I-N-G, I am chopping it in half. How many pieces do I have? 2. If I have a half of it, I'm having 1 out of the 2. So if you're having it, you are having to divide each one of these by 2. We did that on one of ours yesterday. So 0 divided by 2. If I have nothing, I currently have nothing in my hand. If I chop that in half, I have how many of nothing?
Nothing.
Nothing. I'm going to have half of nothing. Boy, that half of nothing sure is beautiful. How much of nothing do I have? Nothing. So my points are 0, 0. Do I need to say something about that? You are finna go do it right now because I'm hearing it clicking behind my head. 1 divided by 2. I have an apple. I chop it in half. I'm going to have 1 half. I'm going to have a half. So 1 half. 1 divided by 2. So my x is 1. My y is 1 half. 1 divided by 2. Are you going to be doing this or are you going to be talking? I know what you should be doing, but I know what you are doing. I know what won't get you in trouble, and I know what will get you in trouble. 2 divided by 2, 1. So your x is 2, your y is 1. 3 divided by 2. 3 divided by 2.
2 and 1 half.
I'm gonna, how many times does 2 go into 3? Once. 1 times 2 is 2. 3 minus 2 is 1. How many? What did you get again?
1 and 1 half.
1 and 1 half, not 2 and a half. My bad indeed. Because if I have 3 things, this goes in a group. I have 2 groups. Because that's what you're doing. You're putting it in 2 groups. This goes in a group, this goes in a group. I have to take this and I have to split it. This goes over here. This goes over here. I have 1 and a half in each group. Y'all really need to put those up. So 1 and a half. So I have 3 and 1 and a half. So now I can plot 0, 0 over 1 up 1 half over 2 up 1. If you're not writing this down, especially if you got it wrong or left it blank, then I don't know what your deal is. Over 3 up 1 and 1 half. Line L. You let the fractions freak you out. Or the fact that it was a half. Have x. Your x's are the same. So that part's already done. Then add 1 and a half. You're like, adding fractions, I forgot how to do that. We just spent the entire second quarter doing what? Adding and subtracting fractions. Do adding and subtracting fractions ever truly go away? No. And when they bring it up in middle school, you're going to be like, I don't know how to do it. And your teachers are going to kill you. Adding fractions does not ever go away. So half of 0, 0 plus 1 and a half. It's 1 and a half. I have half of nothing over here, and I have 1 and a half over here. So I have 1 and a half. So I take half of 1, which was 1 half, and I'm adding 1 and 1 half. So a half plus a half is 1 whole. 1 plus 1 is 2. So your coordinates are 1, 2. So I had 2. Divided by 2, you got 1. 1 plus 1 and a half. 1 plus 1, 2. And then your fraction, 1 and a half. So then when you had 3, when you divided it by 2, you got 1.5. You have to add 1.5. So 1 plus 1 was 2. 1/2 plus 1/2. If I had a half a sandwich over here and a half a sandwich over here, I got 1 whole sandwich. 2 plus 1. 3. So I had 3, 3. I plot those. Over none, up 1/2. Over 1, up 2. Over 2, up. What did I do?
You put 1 and 1/2 on 1, 0, but then you said
Hold on.
0 and 1.
What did I do? Oh, I see. Yeah. Thank you. I was like, these are supposed to be parallel. Thank you. Over 1, up 2. Because I was questioning it right when I did it. So I was like, these are supposed to be parallel. Over 2, 2.5. Over 3, up 3.